Hey everyone, Pastor Steve here, back with today's daily devotional. Again, we're reading through the book I Am, 40 Reasons to Trust God, just looking at the different names of God and looking at how we can apply them to our lives today. Today's name is Jehovah Jireh. The Lord will provide. Just sharing with us that God knows what we need and takes care of us. Jehovah Jireh, the Lord will provide. Devotional is entitled Food from Heaven, and the scripture verse is Genesis chapter 22, verse 14. So Abraham called the name of that place, the Lord will provide, Jehovah Jireh. And it's taken from the book of Exodus chapter 13 and chapters 15 through 16. Follow the cloud, Moses told the people. God led the Israelites through the wilderness in a pillar of cloud during the day and a pillar of fire at night. They camped at Elim, where there was plenty of water and palm trees. Then they set out again into the wilderness. Rumble, grumble. I'm getting hungry, aren't you? One person asked another. Yes, me too, that's for sure, the answers came. The Israelites should have remembered all the ways God had already taken care of them. They should have trusted him and asked him to give them food to eat. But they worried and complained instead. We wished we'd never left Egypt, they said. We had plenty to eat back there. Why did Moses bring us out here anyway? God heard the people's growling tummies, and he heard their complaining too. But he still loved them, and he gave them a new way to learn to trust him. Tonight I will send quail for the people to eat, God told Moses, and in the morning I will send bread from heaven. The people will gather it every morning. Moses and Aaron told the people, God has heard you. Tonight you will eat meat, and in the morning you will have bread. That night quail flew into the camp for the people to catch and eat. The next day, early in the morning, the Israelites got up and looked outside their tents. What are those white flakes all over the ground? They asked in wonder. This is the food God promised you, Moses said. Each of you may gather as much as you can eat today. Don't save any, because God will send more tomorrow. Let's go gather it up, the people said. Let's try and see how it tastes. It's good, like wafers made with honey. The people called the flakes manna. They could bake bread with it or make hot cereal. Every morning for 5 days, God sent new manna. Some people didn't listen to Moses, though. They saved some of the manna overnight and planned to eat it the next day. But in the morning, yuck! The manna we saved is full of worms, the people cried, and it smells horrible. Then on the 6th day, God told the people to gather enough manna for 2 days, because the next day, the 7th day, was the Sabbath, a time for rest. There wouldn't be any new manna to gather on that day. When the Sabbath came, the manna the people had saved overnight was still fresh and fine to eat. It's not spoiled at all, the people said. For as long as the Israelites traveled and camped in the wilderness before they entered the promised land, God sent them manna. He knew what his people needed, and he took care of them. And so what does this mean for us? When summer ends and school begins, you get a list of the school supplies you will need for your new class. Things like crayons, markers, paper, and glue. But you can't get those things yourself. A grown-up buys them for you. Parents and grandparents love you and provide the school supplies you need. One of God's names in the Bible is the Lord will provide. God loves us and knows exactly what we need. He promises to provide for us, and he does. When we are young, God gives the job of providing for us to our parents. When we grow up, he helps us work and earn money so we can buy the things we need. Sometimes when we need help, God sends a friend to help us, or he provides what we need with the miracle. God's gift to us are exactly what we need at the right moment. We see many examples of God providing throughout the Bible. In Exodus chapter 17, when the people were thirsty, God provided water for them, water from a rock. In 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 17, it tells us to trust God, who richly provides us with everything we need to enjoy. You know, we just need to remember Jehovah Jireh, the Lord will provide. No matter what we're going through, no matter what we're dealing with, that's his name, and he will take care of us and provide for us what we need. And so let's remember today the name Jehovah Jireh and trust in him that he will provide for our needs as he says he does. God bless you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.